Pretty good lighting, isn't it? What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica, honey, and we are down here in this merch. This one's a little big, but I got it a little big so it could be like super comfortable. And it says protect your energy. I feel like a Star Wars screen. What if I just started going back like that? What would y'all say? Protect your energy. Go get your merch. It's down in the description. You might even see the shop. They finally let me connect um, my merch shop on my YouTube page. I don't know why. I thought it was because of the what it said off with his head, because I have some off with his head merch as well. And I was like, maybe my merch is too like risque to put up on YouTube. But I'm like, the stuff that be going on YouTube, child, off with his head is not the worst of it, okay? But so they finally let me put my shop down underneath. So if you're on your phone or not on your TV, you won't see it on your TV, but if you're on your phone or your computer, you will see an area to shop. And that is where you can get merch. This is a sweatshirt. It's super big, but we love it super big because it's comfortable. And right now it's like cold, you know what I'm saying? And if I want to run out and just wrap a scarf around real quick. So go get your merch, girl. So we came down here. I wanted to talk about Jonathan Majors, and I actually took notes for the Jonathan Majors interview. But then Essence came down to the damn square and had something to say about the Real Housewives of Potomac, Potomac. I mean, there's so many names for it because people have gotten to the place where we just gonna disrespect the whole goddamn shooting match. The article I posted it yesterday on the community tab, and you all were sounding off. So I said, let's talk about that because, as you all know, that I have not watched this season. I have opted out. I opted out of watching this season because I had grown to loathe and despise this cast and the way that it was being produced. I did not like it. I was watching it and was not enjoying it at all, wasn't laughing, wasn't enjoying, wasn't entertained by the show at all. And I can watch a film about a serial killer and be more entertained than watching Real Housewives of Potomac. So I opted out because I would not have anything positive to say. I'm just being honest. I would not have anything positive to say. I would be talking shit and dragging them the entire episode. I mean, the entire review. And I just didn't want to place my energy there. I don't feel it's deserving. I don't feel that they deserve my review. Um, and so I just stopped watching it. And I said, I've been watching clips online, on our timeline. That's unavoidable. You can't avoid that. So I do make comments because if, like I said online the other day, I can pull up tweets from 4 years ago and they still apply to how they're operating today. That show has not grown. It's catering to Giselle and Robin, all of the conversations about colorism, all of the, I can do this, but she can't. I can do this to this woman, but if she reacts to me now, I don't want to talk to her ever again. And it's just the way that, and then like the whole thing with Monique, that season was really toxic. And I was like, I just don't want to be there again. And I'm not entertained by the show. I feel like it's very mediocre. The women do not seem like they're operating with, abundant resources. And I don't want to even watch that. If I'm watching, I want to see like Kyle shopping. The minute she touched down, she's in the damn store going, boo, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want that, I want that, I want that. I don't want to see these broke down bitches who really can't dress. They just barely getting it on. You see how I've already started? That's the reason why I did not want to see. I had to catch myself because I could just keep going and going and going. Y'all know, if y'all follow me on Twitter, if you've seen me in the comments on like All True Tea or the Peach Report, shout out to y'all. You know, when they hit I follow those pages, so when I see them I could see what's going on, and I'm like, this is some bullshit. It's still some bullshit. And then you bring this woman on this show. I'm watching the reviews. I watch Rodney's reviews. I watch Jamie. That's me. I watch. I don't think is Jamie. No, Jamie's still talking about it. She can't stand them. I mean, everybody is like done with Real Housewives of Potomac because it's like, what are we doing? Why are we watching this? And for me, I said it plainly the other day. I feel like a lot of people are supporting this show simply because it's a black cast. And what we're doing is allowing a lot of this shit to continue by supporting it, which was like literally the last sentence of that Essence article. When I tell you Essence touched on every single thing. Now I too much don't understand, like, okay, I understood, like I'm able to understand the critiques of how this new Nigerian woman comes on this cast and you have issues with the Nigerian woman. And then you guys want to create this storyline as if Wendy wanted to be the only Nigerian woman on the show. And then how in the article it says like these women, they came on this show and being Nigerian was like a part of the reason why they are who they are. And that was a wrong road to go down. A lot of people are feeling that, you know, this woman was brought on to the show so it wouldn't look like, oh, the light-skinned girls are always messing with the dark-skinned girls and always mad at the dark-skinned girls. They didn't want it to look like that. So why don't we bring another dark-skinned woman on the show? She's Nigerian. She more than likely, if you're in that same area, more than likely circles have met each other in that community. So they might know each other and they kind of know each other. I don't know. I haven't watched it. I'm just basically going off the reviews that I'm listening to. But this woman comes onto the show, which I said the other day about Monica and Tufisha, get the fans off of the show. And especially if you're going to bring a fan or more like a stan on the show who has kind of like vendettas, personal issues, like they've created a personal issue with one of the cast members. And so they come on trying to like fuck with that cast member. And it's like, why are you fooling with me like the way that you're messing with me? And then the template is always the same. I don't even have to watch the season. The template is always the same. It's Ashley and Giselle. And from what I understand, Giselle is not doing a lot of talking and engaging this season because she's mad at Candace and Wendy for reacting to her terrorism. She's mad at them for being mad at her. And not talking to them. It's weird. And the things and it seems like there's a lot of favoritism on the show. Giselle doesn't have to, show up. She doesn't have to talk to cast members. She can come to a scene and not speak to anybody, and like speak to other people who have done her wrong, but is still holding this grudge with Wendy and Candace. And I don't know, it's just a lot of foolishness. And we're trying to watch these shows. Yes, we might relate to some of the women in some of the ways, right? But we don't want it too relatable to where like y'all are taking better trips than these women, right? Like when I was done when they were doing the Groupon paddle boat, sandwiches, 7-Eleven sandwiches, and having a little Oreo cookie in a juice box. And then when they were in Miami and it was pipes, exposed pipes in the you can hear people flushing the toilet. No, I was like, okay, they're giving mediocre. They're allowed to be mediocre, and it falls in line with the colorism thing, like all of this stuff. And it's like too much to even talk about. And who wants to do all that talking? We deal with that in our lives. Like, can we watch something where people are like getting along? People actually like each other. Can we see a cast? And who's producing this show? And you're like, and why are these women allowed to get away with what they're getting away with? Why wasn't Robin demoted? Why is she back with a peach or a flute or whatever the fuck they have over there? A juice box. What do they got? Are they holding juice boxes up now? What's going on? Bologna sandwiches? What are they holding in the Potomac in the intro? I don't know. But Essence gathered the girls. So the first thing that I saw, the first thing that like stood out to me, this quote, basically kind of summed it up. The franchise has been on a sharp decline for some time now, mostly due to the uninspiring storylines of most of its cast, coupled with the pervasive hazing, right? Because we have agreed that Giselle is stuck in her AKA sorority college days. The way that she moves, it's like, come on, girl. You have to, like, and then we know that based on the way that she's operating in this girl group, that's more than likely the time in her life where she actually peaked, right? It wasn't being married to a philandering pastor, right, of a mega church. It was when she was in college. And so when she operates in relationships with women, it looks very much so like college. And it's giving very much so school days. Right? Yeah, it is. It really is. And we've talked about this with this group. And then when they come out and say, and then they deny it as if that's not what it is. Like you're not going to be from New Orleans and act like you don't understand colorism, girl. And like you don't get it, and that's not what's happening here when you actually lead with your green eyes. And then you have taglines like, I know the way to stay pretty is to stay in the shade. Girl, what? Oh, so you don't get dark, stay out of the sun, so you don't, like, what? Come on, Giselle. Like, and that's what it is. And it's like when they deny it and then they could sit there and then you get mad at the women for reacting to her terrorism. Candace reacting to her terrorism and then speaking plainly and saying, you get away with a lot of shit, homegirl, because of your proximity to whiteness. And we're not going to act like you don't. We're going to act like you don't. We're not going to play like that. We're not going to pretend that that's not what's happening. We're not going to pretend like the first season that your ethnicity and genetic makeup was a conversation. It was a storyline. Y'all got into it with Katie for saying that y'all was more white than you were black, and turns out Robin is. And then you want to deny what's happening. And then Robin not having to share her story, but then focus on Candace and Chris to help her homegirl out, and then don't understand why Candace is mad at her. Like, I don't even have to watch the season to understand it's the same shit over and over and over again, and the people are tired. And then to top it off, you bring this Nigerian woman to go at it with the other. And I thought, and I said it the other day, I tweeted, I said, it's kind of messed up because Wendy is on here with her AKA sorority sister, and she's a fucking bitch to her. And now you got another Nigerian woman. Two areas of Wendy's identity, and it's like being attacked and not being honored. Like the sisterhood is not being honored between the AKAs, and the Nigerian sisterhood is not being honored with this woman Nneka. Like, this is crazy to me. And that's the reason why people don't want to watch it, because we're not laughing. Have I laughed yet? I haven't laughed yet. Coupled with the pervasive hazing combined with an undercurrent of colorism and blatant unfairness. And I'm so glad that a magazine whose demographic is Black women finally accepted, yes, we're watching these shows, one, and two, this is what we're seeing, and three, we're not entertained by this shit. We're not. We're not. The blatant unfairness has made the show increasingly harder to watch. Potomac has a history of using a bait and switch tactic, deliberately provoking and isolating women within the group, only to subsequently label these women as aggressive. That like literally sums up all these things because there's so much focus on the reaction from how these women are being treated. Like I saw a clip of Candace yelling, "The goal post always moves," or the goal is always moving, or the post is always moving, or something like that. She was like yelling. The line is always moving. Okay. But that's a reaction and people get tired. Like we were just talking about reactive abuse. People get tired. And then what's unfortunate, you have the women, like, it looks even worse to me. I'm just going to say it. When Candace is always trying to come back and be friends with these women, it makes it adds a layer to what is already happening with how Giselle moves. Like Rodney called her the other day, Big Sister Green Eyes. She really is moving like she's in college. It's crazy. And I know that people watching it cannot be like, y'all are entertained by this. Like, it's weird. And when I'm seeing the timeline, I think they still come on Sunday, I presume, because everybody be talking about it. But nobody, it's like people are arguing with each other. Like there's not even a community in the viewership. People are like fighting while they're watching this. And then like when we watch Beverly Hills, there's some back and forth, right? But it's not like always so like, I don't know. It's just very like, in the comments. It's like, why are y'all so angry? And it's like what they're watching is making them angry. And it's like, why are you still consuming it? One, and then why are these women okay? Nobody has said anything. I know that Candace has said stuff about people sharing their lives, and Robin really should have been demoted. When Kenya, a dark-skinned woman, and that's how you have to, like, we're just gonna call it out, because it's not to ignore and be like, well, Kenya, she went off and got married and got demoted. Robin completely didn't tell us nothing that was going on, and then came out and put it behind a paywall. And from my understanding, they're mad because Candace goes on Twitter. Candace has always gone on Twitter. Y'all would go on Twitter if more people kind of engage with you. People don't engage with y'all on Twitter because y'all not showing up, so you're not going to get the engagement. So she goes to Twitter because she knows that where people are going to understand, like, here, people disagree with her all the time, but people are going to understand where she's coming from because we all see it. And then you say she doesn't say things to your face. She does say things. She called you a milkmaid. Did she call you a bulbous forehead milkmaid looking like a, what do they call them narwhals? Them narwhals in the little unicorn fish in the ocean, looking like that. Then she call you a narwhal or something like that, and called you. She'd be saying the shit to y'all faces, and then she just reiterates it on Twitter, or she does it on Twitter and then says it to your face later. But it doesn't matter. She's gonna say it to your face. So you acting like she doesn't say shit to your face is crazy. Like, and then that kind of stuff is crazy. Don't nobody want to be talking about like that all the time. Let's read some other quotes from the article, and then I'm going to read some of your comments. What time is it? Okay, good. We got a good time. Okay, this is from Essence, written by Shelby Stewart. Though the inclusion of NECA might be seen as a positive step towards representation of dark-skinned Black women on screen, the conflict between Aim and Osefo highlights a more profound issue. And then bringing them on the show, in which they spoke about, bringing them on the show and then talking about religion in that way, in that disrespectful way. Just like I was talking about the other day on the Married to Medicine review, where you like act like, oh my God, I'm so scared of this. I'm so scared of this. I'm so scared of this. And for Giselle to act like she's scared or doesn't understand voodoo or hoodoo and being from New Orleans is a crock of shit. It is. And that kind of stuff, it's like, why are you playing these games and then playing with these people's religion like that and being disrespectful in that way? And then like NECA being a part of that. Like, what are you doing? Like, now I'm looking at you like, why would you even be okay with bringing that onto this show like that? When that's like something that is a part of your religion. And then for it to come on, and then from my understanding, there was when they kept pronouncing her name wrong, and then Wendy pronounced it correctly, and then she said it's okay for them to pronounce my name wrong. Like, well, no, girl, what we don't play those games. Like, who are you? Like, you seem like you're an agent. Like, why are you here? You seem like you're a fan who has an issue with Wendy, and somebody in production let your ass on this show. And I'm tired of production where I feel like these should be friend groups where the women are safe. They should not, because these motherfuckers that be watching this shit, some of these niggas are crazy. Like, I call them soap opera fanatics. They act like the old school soap opera fanatics. Like the way that Monica is acting. An old school soap opera fanatic who I'm going to get my way on. And then production just like opening the door and letting these people on. No background checks or nothing. Like, why are y'all letting me, when this is supposed to be a friend group? This friend group is already hostile. This work environment is already hostile. Then you're going to bring a fan on the show who has a problem just so that you can show that it's not just the light skin against the dark skins. See, there's two dark skinned girls fighting now. Come on. And how lazy is that? And then you like literally come on here and then talk about culture in a way that's like, oh, we should be scared of it, like this taboo thing. And it's like, you're bringing on, like, who are you, girl? And I'm glad they talked about that. Apparently the person who wrote the article is Nigerian. So she says, among the Real Housewives franchise, Potomac gained its claim to fame through its two matriarchal anchors, Karen Huger and Griselda Bryant. Okay. While like many of its counterparts, Potomac is recognized for depicting the lifestyles and interpersonal dynamics of the women. They just be broke. They just act like they broke as hell. The 7-Eleven sandwiches and the juice boxes. I can't, after that, I was like, girl, what am I watching? And like on top of that, like, y'all broke, and then y'all play these games like this. Girl, hang it up. It's not even entertaining. You could keep it. It says, however, beneath the surface lies a deeper issue. In the 8th season, the show mostly stayed with the same cast. They talked about Monique, Candace joining, Wendy joining, Teddy Perkins joining, and then now this other woman, and then Katie Ross, who she came back in season 4. The franchise has been on a sharp decline. We already read that. With the pervasive hazing combined with an undercurrent of colorism. It's literally like school days. An undercurrent of colorism and blatant unfairness. It first reared its head in season 5 when the Green-Eyed Bandits, Bryant and Dixon, led a crusade against Samuels, who physically attacked Dillard Bassett and drummed up rumors about Samuels and her family. And we still don't understand why you grab Candace. You grab Candace, but when you get to the reunion, your little burn book is full of arrows directed at Giselle, because that was the intended target. But you knew that your little caramel colored ass could not fight this woman, this light-skinned woman with these green eyes, and get away with it. So you fight your so-called sister, and we still don't understand why. I just blacked out, but I know every single detail of the story as I tell Chris on the way home. And when you get to the reunion, you don't have nothing for Candace. You got everything for Giselle. That's how you know you were on a schoolyard, right? Flashback. You blacked out to the schoolyard, and it's like, oh, I gotta beat my friend up to be accepted by this group of women. Is that what happened? Girl, see? You see, have I laughed yet? Girl. Though Samuels left the show following the season, and then Giselle acted like she was on Candace's side, and you weren't on. You've never been on Candace's side. You were just like, oh, here's another way to get Monique off the show. At first it was to ice out Candace, but then you might as well get Monique. I mean, we didn't want neither one of them in the first fucking place. And since Monique showed her ass and told me she had 4 homes, while you over there in that dilapidated, what is it, broke back mountain ass home shack over there leaning to the side, looking like one of them Halloween stores. Somebody had the sign, put out a sign in front of Giselle's home and made a meme out of it. Have y'all seen it? It's when when you go into these little strip malls and stuff like that, and then come Halloween, one of the like stores that doesn't have anything in it is automatically created into a Halloween costume store, and it has a sign on. They put the big sign on the outside. Somebody put the big sign on the outside of Giselle's house. Girl, let's go. So she's been mad at Samuels ever since. And so since Samuels pounced on Dillard Bassett for everybody's still confused why, right? Everybody is still confused, okay? Like, girl, what? You wanted to beat Giselle's ass. That's who you should have beat. I know to this day, this bitch is like, bitch, if I was going to get kicked off of this show, I should have beat the bitch's ass who I was intended on beating her ass, because that's the bitch that started the rumor about me and my man and that baby being my man's baby or not. That's the bitch I want to fight. But you want to be accepted. And apparently this new girl wants to be accepted too, because they're not doing much talking, and it's just always Wendy and this girl arguing. So I don't know. The glaring issue on Potomac is seemingly the goalpost always moves depending on who you're talking to. During season 5, the women largely condemned Monique for attacking Candace. During season 7, when an altercation between Wendy and Nia was addressed, it was radio silence among the women. And what would be the reason other than somebody getting preferential treatment, and it was okay to throw this drink in this woman's face like that? Nobody said nothing. Nobody was so scared and bringing security guards to the reunion. Nobody said nothing, and it was okay, and everybody was cool. And then even ran after Teddy. What is it? Rob ran after Teddy, talking about Teddy Perkins. Look it up. Teddy Perkins, run to Teddy Perkins talking about, I just wanted to make sure you're okay. And then telling Wendy, well, you should have been quiet if you didn't, girl. So I'm just supposed to let this woman talk crazy to me and say anything crazy to me? I'm supposed to just be quiet, bitch? Who the fuck are you, and why are you recording this? Like, the shit is weird. It's very weird. And if anybody was ever like mistreated in college, this is probably triggering for them, because this girl group, this toxic ass girl group shit, that's kind of can happen in college, and that's where it happens. And then it actually can move into communities where women get together and act like this, and then lie and be like, that's not what's happening. Why? How come it's not? Because that's what happened. Ashley, Karen, and Candace are the only ones that said something. But the main one who was terrified, right? Terrified, brought a security guard to the reunion. She had nothing to say. She actually sat there and was watching it, and sat there and did not move. Did not move, girl. The consensus was largely attributed to the evident animosity towards Wendy. Brian openly stated, I don't like her. Remember, I haven't forgot that. Whoever wrote this, shout out to them. An ousting has become a pattern, and it's orchestrated by the GEBs with the help of the little big head, forehead, Stewie football head Darby, always running around, head just bobbing around like a dummy. And she's a dummy anyway. And don't even get me started on Ashley. Don't even get me started on that Ashley. They who have maneuvered, it says it's orchestrated by the Green-Eyed Bandits, who have maneuvered through much of the show's past seasons without having to reveal much in their own personal lives, and pivoting the focus on the other women and stirring up drama. The attacks appear to be grounded in projection. Get into this. The women who enjoy the support of loving husbands, successful careers, and supportive families seem to evoke envy from those who do not have those same privileges. Let's face the facts. Giselle is a divorcee from a high-profile ex-pastor, Jamal Bryant, who was fucking the entire front pew. She didn't put that in there. I added that. Robin is grappling with both financial and marital challenges with her now remarried husband, Wandering Dixon. Shout out to Rodney the Voice. Ashley is navigating, who I lovingly refer to as Stewie Darby, is navigating a purported divorce, and Nia in recent news has been seen with a new man, not her husband. It seems like calculated strategy to marginalize women who exude positivity and possess the qualities others covet. For those who may harbor entitlement due to being fairer skinned, witnessing darker skinned Black women thriving in every aspect of life that can be triggering. Because what was promised to you based on just how you look, my damn, is not the reality. And you might have a little issue with the other girls because of that. You might. You might. How dare these darkies? Oh, yeah. And remember what I said the other day about Dorit? Because you've been programmed with this shit. A lot of this shit is unconscious, but it's not undeniable because we could see it. We can see it and we could spot it out and we can give you examples. And like I told somebody in the comments, we're out of the era where I'm telling you what I see and you tell me that's not what I see. That's dead. We're done with that shit. You're not going to get to gaslight your way through your little mediocre ass life and then be jealous. And then how are you on a show and you don't have to talk to the cast? You don't have to talk to the cast members? Oh, okay. From my understanding from y'all reviews, and correct me if I'm wrong, Giselle is not speaking to Wendy and Candace at all. Like, she doesn't speak to them at all. She doesn't address them. She doesn't speak to them. Correct me if I'm wrong. I told you I'm not watching this. That entire paragraph, for those who may harbor entitlement due to being fairer skinned, witnessing darker skinned Black women thriving in every aspect of life can be triggering. Yeah, it can be. And you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it. Nevertheless, in an apparent response to the accusation of colorism and everyone choosing sides after Thornton assaulted Wendy, because that's what it was, the producers of Potomac made a seemingly concerted effort to introduce a new cast member, Nika Ahim, who shares Nigerian heritage with Osefo. Although the inclusion of Nneka might be seen as a positive step towards representation of dark-skinned Black women on screen, and on-screen conflict between Ahim and Osefo highlights a more profound cultural problem. She says one of the mistakes they're making is that they're making that the central point of their personality, their heritage. They keep attributing their successes and wealth to being Nigerian, which is where the problem lies. An ongoing exchange between the two has involved accusations of Wendy's family labeling them as Osu, a term that is considered derogatory in African culture. Nneka knows that. Why would you bring that on a stage like this where it's already fucked up? It's already fucked up. Now you're going to bring this kind of where it gives the women the opportunity to practice xenophobia, because that's really what it comes off as. Oh, I'm so scared of everything that isn't what you were raised in. As if nothing other exists outside of your religion. And then you bring this on in this environment that's already a hostile environment. And I'm looking at Nneka sideways. I'm looking at her sideways because why would you even participate in that? From my vantage point and my perspective, Black folks from Africa, Nigerians, wherever country they are from, they are proud. When I tell you, they are proud. A lot of pride in their heritage. And for you to come on a stage like this in an already hostile environment as a Nigerian woman and introduce that, I would have been like, yeah, I'm good. I'm not going to come on this stage and fight with another Nigerian woman. I'm not going to do that. As like it's almost like you ignore everything else that Wendy has already dealt with, that Candace has already dealt with. You just want to get on this show and then have this problem with this woman. And it's like, why did you agree to participate in this? Are you proud? Or you obviously, to me, I'm looking at, I don't meet too many Nigerians who are not proud of their heritage. I don't know. To the point where they would actually come on a show and be an agent in this hostile environment just to add to some shit. I couldn't be a part of that. I would say no. If we can't come on and I be introduced as whoever's friend and be like, oh, we share heritage, girl, let's be friends. I'm not going to come on attacking. I'm not going to come on using cultural references where other people are like, ooh, what's that? She's doing shrines and all this other stuff and like acting like that. That's why I would not have been able to watch this season. I would be, because I don't get jiggy with that shit at all. At all. I don't get jiggy with it. I don't. So I couldn't have watched this season, and I don't know how y'all do it. I don't, and that's why I said the other day, y'all don't hate Potomac enough for me, because I don't ever call for anybody to like quote unquote boycott a show, but I'm like, there's nothing entertaining about the show, and the only core reason why you're watching this is because it's an all black cast, but it feeds into you allowing mediocrity to exist just because it's black, and that's a no. You have to put your foot down somewhere, even in entertainment. Like, this is not entertaining. The dispute includes implications of witchcraft shrines, most of which are perpetuating ignorance, xenophobia, and fear-mongering. We have two women who are not only from Nigeria, and they're actually the same ethnicity, and then happen to be experiencing conflict as a result of cultural differences within their ethnicity. In other words, they're now airing dirty laundry that had no business being aired all the way in America. And I agree 100% as an American. I agree. Like, why are y'all doing this? This is not it. This is not it. And again, I'm looking at NECA in the side of her neck. I'm looking at her wondering, why would you even agree to do this? You obviously have no pride. Clearly. Because there would be no way I would be you're not going to get me on a show and then go against like the other person of my ethnicity and culture. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Get somebody else to do it. What the lady tell them? Get somebody else to do it. I'm telling you, I don't even know this lady why she's here, but doing all of that, it's musty. It's giving musty. It's really giving musty. Apart from Wendy and Neka, the women in the group have no knowledge of traditional African religion. Breaking the fourth wall reveals a much more significant concern. Breaking the fourth wall reveals a much more significant concern, a storyline tactically orchestrating a conflict between two Igbo women on national television. That's another, it's just like, on top of that, like, girl, no, I'm not going on that show to fight with the only other Nigerian woman. You cannot, you have to be a dumb motherfucker to be used that way and not like willingly understand what they were trying, like you don't understand what they were trying to do. So I feel like you willingly, you're not dumb. So you knew what you were doing. So I'm looking at you sideways because I feel like you don't have no pride in your culture or in your heritage, because I would not dare do no shit like that. That shit is crazy to me. Just thinking about it is crazy to me. I'm like, you have the two. And then for Wendy, from Wendy's perspective, it's like, fuck, I got my soror over here and she is a bitch. And now I got another Nigerian woman and she's coming at me. Like, what the fuck? That's literally a hostile work environment. And it's not entertaining to witness. It's very triggering for a lot of people. It's very triggering for a lot of people. So many people have stopped watching this show. To bring Osu claims to television among the group of women who hardly get along in the first place adds an extra layer of insensitivity. It not only magnifies existing conflicts, but also exploits cultural intricacies for dramatic effect. Vaughn, who is currently in Nigeria for the holidays, says it's strange for people to tune into American TV and see that this is the plot. Among the storylines presented over the show's 8 seasons, none have generated as much controversy and drama as the feud between Wendy and Nneka. And with Monique and them, that was a hot mess. That was a fucking mess. Both, and then somebody said it before this season. I think it was Candace who said that this season is like bad as season 5. I think that was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think that was Candace who said that, like leading up to, before the season even came on, like it's like a rough season. They didn't show Nneka's family life. They're not showing that, and to me, I feel like that should be your pride. That's what you have pride in. You've acquired these things. You're wealthy. You're living comfortably, and you came on here and chose to fight with the only Nigerian woman from the same tribe, no less. Like, that's crazy as hell. I just don't understand it. I don't even know how you would agree to participate in some shit like that. That shit is crazy to me. People freak out. It's not something to be taken lightly, and people are very insulted by it. Nigeria is a very religious country. Both women who are Catholic and Christian, to accuse someone of witchcraft is like, dang, you hate them. It calls into question how in tune you are with your culture. Like, girl, why would you do that? Then to speak about witchcraft and being from a caste system is just irresponsible, and they should know better. Unfortunately, this is not the first instance. Diller Bassett addressed colorism. None of the cast members were adequately equipped to engage in the conversation. However, for such a conversation to land on a platform like Housewives speaks to a larger issue with cast and production. And not only that, the viewers like trying to inject that in every single cast where a black woman is present. They try to inject the race thing and everything. This right here, we don't want to see that, y'all. I'm going to use a Ramona Singer. Everybody knows who that woman is. Part of the 54%. You know she is. But that doesn't mean I can't watch her on TV, because when I'm watching her and she's amongst her friends, she's not practicing the thing that we don't like to see white women practice. She's being stupid and ridiculous. We do see her in some instances exercise her privilege, and we can call her out on it. Like when she goes out and when she asks the people, the concierge, to like unpack her luggage and shit like that whenever they go out of the country. But then you put a black woman in the show, and now it's all about a civil rights movement throughout the whole season, and now it's gone. Now the fucking show is gone. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody is entertained by that. There's a place for that, and it's not on Housewives. Period. Like literally, like, can't we get back to these women fighting over caviar, fighting over who's going to get the bedroom on vacation? Like, what? We over here talking about these deep triggering issues on a show that should be entertaining us and showing us wealthy women. Not only are they showing us these hard topics to watch, but they broke. They're broke. This hoes is broke out here. You on paddle boats and shit? Exposed piping and shit, girl? No. Not on, to add on to that. Here we go. Among the storylines presented over the 8 seasons, okay, what's even more perplexing is the missed opportunity to explore other noteworthy topics that could have been prepped to the show. When Giselle was going through her fibroid issue, she didn't tell anybody about it. We found out in the last episode. Robin has this whole thing going on with Juan. She puts it behind a paywall. Why are you here? What are you here for? And why are you participating in something where you know these people are not giving what we're asking for? The insinuations surrounding Wendy's family lack tact, and discussing them on national television lacks discretion of the African community that the African community deserves. The cultural debate, if you can even call it that, necessitates a conversation that is both delicate and nuanced. Right, and Housewives is not right. The socioeconomic and political implications of such a claim are not suited for a platform like Real Housewives. This is a entertaining show. Yes, we are going to have conflict, but these issues, it's too much. It's not entertaining. And then like we're seeing all of the issues that plague like the colorism conversation that has plagued the Black community since integration, wanting to assimilate to whatever standards of beauty and whiteness you think is like where to, you know, the other day, I said it the other day, y'all look at them as the standard of how to operate. And it's just like weird, but it is what it is. That's the system that the people are entranced under. And we know that colorism exists in every culture where there is a color spectrum of people. It does not matter. Everyone has been infected with this dumb shit, with the illusion. So you're not going to act like that is not what's happening. And you're not, because if you acknowledge it, just like racist, if you acknowledge it, then you have to acknowledge that you benefit from it. Stop playing in our faces. Stop it. Let me see. It keeps refreshing, going back up to the top. As viewers, it prompts us. Here it is. As viewers, it prompts us to reflect on the boundaries between entertainment and cultural sensitivity, urging a more thoughtful approach to storytelling that respects the dignity and nuances of diverse backgrounds. The unresolved tensions and lingering controversies on the show serve as a stark reminder that beyond reality TV, real lives and cultures are at stake, demanding a more conscientious approach to what we choose to amplify. What are we giving our energy to? Right? And that could be said about everything. And it's like, what it's a scale of frequencies. If you want to be in the low frequency, it exists, and people are going to hang out there for a while. But you could raise your vibration, but some people just reside in a low vibration, just chilling in a low vibration. You can go over there and enjoy your little guilty pleasures, but you have an understanding that this is not it. I don't want to stay here. I don't want to watch this every Sunday. I don't want to ingest this stuff. I deal with this stuff in my real life. I watch these women to escape, but then also kind of be like, oh yeah, that's cute what she has on. Talk about their fashions, talk about their purses, talk about how much money they spent, talk about their cars, talk about the stuff that's just a little shallow, right? These deep conversations, and then combined with the dismissal, the unfair treatment, is just over. Nobody is entertained by that. They're not. And then the women being able not to kind of like avoid conversations with the other women, They said what needed to be said. Let's read some of your comments. And then we're going to go. Hold on. All right, let's read some of your comments. Y'all were really sounding off. Let's go. Top comments. Someone says, this is 1991. Mika says, about time somebody wrote an article about those women. I hope Bravo sees and actually digests it, because that opinion is shared by many. April 2399, April J2399 says, I can't bring myself to watch the show, but I'm glad a reputable Black culture media source has commented. Kudos to the author of the article. Hopefully Bravo and or the ladies will make the necessary changes, and not changes based on Bravo's production's faves. Whatever backlash, this is JJM Miss Mom. It says, whatever backlash RHOP gets is well deserved. Someone has to call out the mess that reasonable viewers have been subjected to. Now that it's been highlighted at this level, will Bravo make the necessary changes to make this franchise work? Glitter Girl TZ4RU says, girl, I can't wait till we're down here to talk about it. I know the author has been watching your channel. We've all been saying it, and it's like literally so many people feel the same way. And I myself just opted out of, I just don't want to watch that. Because I literally I can acknowledge that I have never not liked a cast so much. I've never not liked an entire cast. Like the other day I told you I was looking at Candace. I like Candace, but I'm looking at you crazy because you're giving. I still want to be your friend. Can you be my friend? Are you mad at me? These women don't fuck with you. They're disrespectful to you, and you always trying to be friends with them. It's crazy to me. Other people might not see that it's crazy, but I'm looking at you crazy. Wendy, I'm looking at you crazy. Because listening to the reviews, you are trying to be cool with a woman who threw a drink in your face. We could be cordial, whatever. We got to film together, but I'm not holding your hand and consult. We're not doing all that shit because we're not really friends. We're not really friends. And that's another layer onto the show. These women are not friends. Can we get a friend group? Hello? Like a real, true friend group. These women are not friends. Because you don't go a whole season and be in groups with your friends. And if you're mad at one of your girlfriends, which can happen, you don't speak to her for a whole season. You're not really friends. Cut the shit. From what I can tell, even though the lady hasn't been talking this season, get rid of Giselle. She got to go. She has to go. She got to go. Her and Robin and Ashley. Karen can stay because she likes to be neutral, but you on that colorism shit too. You the one that said Wendy doesn't fit the look of the show. What look? What look? Because on paper, what look? But physically, what look are you talking about? Because we want to know what look are you talking about, Karen. And Karen has never had to speak to that. So Karen ain't off the hook either. Even though she likes to play neutral because she knows what it is. Down there on that farm. She knows what it is. Says Erica, girl, I will meet you down here to hear what you got to say because you called this before anybody else. This read is everything. Hopefully, this is naturally Sadie says, hopefully this network sees this and takes action. This sums up what the viewers have been saying for a while. Nakiba says, Nakiba Williams says, I hope the following portion sizzled Giselle's soul. For those who may harbor entitlement due to being fair-skinned, witnessing darker-skinned black women thriving in every aspect of life can be triggering. And then here comes Q. He says, I mean, look, Stovepipe Legs hasn't had a meaningful relationship except for her kids and girlfriend, Rob. Rob has been a ride or die all because of the guilt of losing all of Juan's money that she lets him do whatever and step all over her. Just watch how he talks to her when she's venting to him. Not a caring mate being understanding that he puts his relationship and faithfulness into question. Then it's Stewie football head Darby. I mean, her story writes itself. Her mother had nothing and she was searching for a father figure she found in Michael. He could gild her and she was reaping the benefits of it monetarily. What she didn't expect was that he wasn't about to be faithful and be taking care of your grown mama and her unemployed longtime boyfriend. After his 2 kids, she thought money, but the whole time he outplayed her by renegotiating their prenup and leaving her with nothing, to the point she asked him for help in getting a house, and she can't afford on her own. She literally said it, and taking vacations alone together but not doing anything. They will never get divorced because it's less advantageous to leave him when she literally can't take care of herself. So they're actually right. The jealousy is in the green eyes. Come on, Q. Period. So what was promised to you based on what you look like, right? The preference not getting the preferential treatment. You got an issue with the girls who are doing what you told they couldn't do because of the way they looked. And don't tell me you weren't told that. You have literally blonde hair and green eyes in Louisiana. So we done with that. Q read the girls from A to Z, period. C.M. Rogers says no lies were told. They couldn't get Wendy the last few seasons, so they found a way to use a girl to get the dirt, to do the dirty work. This show is not fun. Season 5 was dark, and the show has not been the same since. Essence, observing the events that led up to Monique and Candace's fight and what happened afterwards was spot on. They've been watching the show. Whoever wrote this has been watching the show. They've been watching it. This was the best expose on a franchise I've read since the inception of Housewives. What a clear and concise read Essence has done of colorism and the Karen-esque behavior of the GEB crew, Green-Eyed Bandits. All truths, but this is from Libra DC. All truths. Besides colorism, it appears that a lot of blame has been on production as well. So much emphasis that production lacks cultural humility, instead promotes beef between Nneka and Wendy. It was very interesting. It was a very interesting and impactful article. Amaris7619 says, I haven't watched the show in seasons. I can't ruin my impeccable logic and reasoning. Right? I can't watch it. I can't do this. Kima D says, if they can get rid of Jizz, I swear it will be a whole new cast with that move alone. Preston says, I thought about you the whole time I was reading it. The diva was ahead of the curve. Rock says she's done after this season too. I think Bondi says she was going to stop watching it too. I think Jamie says she was going to stop watching it too. Because it's like, girl, why are we, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Why are we doing this? Somebody says, this is reality commentator 6804 says, I was yelling preach the entire time I was reading the article. Saltwater Dada says, and I love it. Throw the whole show away. Essence came out. This cat rock says Essence came out and told no lies. Elena Walker says, Erica, someone watched your channel and then went and wrote that article. Although I don't watch the show, I do listen to you. I'm very sure you said that at least twice before. And I said they really wrapped up so many people's feelings and opinions about the cast and show. Yeah, not just mine. Not just mine. I wasn't the only one who felt like that. And I wasn't going to tell anybody, let's boycott Potomac, because you do what you want. Like, you do what you want. You are sovereign people. Do what you want. Watch what you want and just what you want. I can share with you that I don't want to watch it. I can share why I don't want to watch it, or I don't have to share with you. I can just say I'm not watching it, right? I don't want to watch it. I don't want to review it. I don't want to watch it. I don't want that. As you can see in this entire video, you can see why it would have been all of that in the entire season, and nobody wants to deal with that. And then I got to go do Palo Santo and spray and all this other stuff when I'm done, because these hoes have left a bad like energy, and it's not, nobody's entertained by that. We want to come down here. We can talk about serious things. We can have passionate, discussions and raise our voices a little bit and cuss somebody out every now and again. But to be constantly every week with this bullshit, girl, and then not really be nothing to talk about because they broke and they ain't showing nothing. So there it is. I'm glad Essence came out. Shout out to y'all. Get down in the comments, sound off, go read the article. I'll put the link in the article in the description. Take care of each other. Peace. Protect your energy. Stop watching this shit. Peace.